Speaking of Grizzlies news, were you while you were out there in the mountains and all that stuff? Were you able to see this Triple J stat scandal?
Dude, that stuff went so viral. It even made its way up to the mountains where I was at. I was at the top of the rocks and people were still talking about the Reddit JJJ scandal. That was heard all around the world. And it was just, I'll just go ahead and give my thoughts on that. That was just absolutely insane when I first read about it, just because their whole argument is like that they're pushing for JJJ to be like defensive player of the year. Like, first off, who in the NBA is pushing for a Grizzlies player to win an award? Of all
I
things,
don't.
like,
I don't
come
think
on, like, we're
anybody.
like one of the smallest markets in the NBA. Like, the NBA, like, that's some deep conspiracy type stuff. And
Uh,
I love that, like, some of the media guys, like Kevin O'Connor, shout out to him, like, went through and do you see where he like watched all 66 blocks and he said that there were like maybe two or three of them that were even questionable, but there were also some that could have been blocks that weren't blocks. And so, like, I just, it makes me so frustrated, not just with basketball fans, but just like people in general that are so quick to buy into every single conspiracy theory. And I just feel like that is like a plateau of what our life has become now, is that like you just post a couple clips and people will believe anything and take it and run with it. And this is just another example. And yeah, I mean, when you just look at the backbone of it, like, why would this even happen? Like, why would they really care if the Grizzlies players are getting defensive player of the year? Like,
yeah,
newsflash, people play better at home than on the road. Like, that's just part of it, you know?
home cooking is a thing, even on defense. Okay, like yeah,
Yeah.
in this whole situation, man, it really had me like when I had saw it. It was like on a Saturday or something like that, whatever it was. When I had saw it, I was like, I have never in my life of playing basketball, watching basketball, being around basketball for as long as I have never once thought about a stat keeper fudging stats. like,
Yeah, because there's so many other measures in place as far as like statistical audits that the NBA does. Like, it's not
yeah,
like it's a church league where they just count on that one person who's keeping score to have it all done, send in the books, and you're good to go. Like, it's a lot more
right,
to it that goes into it than that. And I guess that's a news flash for some
yeah.
people.
Well, and then you think about like the money involved too. Like the NBA has a lot of money involved in their partnerships with FanDuel and all these different,
Exactly. That's a
betting
whole nother piece to
things.
it.
So they have to make sure that stuff's accurate. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of people getting screwed out of money. And what that does is that leads to lawsuits. The NBA ain't trying to get sued
Yeah.
over Triple J winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, exactly. All that tells you is if he's playing at home, take the over on blocks, because we got our home cooking scorekeepers that are going to make sure he gets over every single time, apparently.
I, I'm curious if like that whole Reddit post, if like it changed, like if it's going to change betting lines a little bit.
Well, I did see where, like, after that day, like the line for the defensive player of the year, like some of the sports books took it down for like a day or so, and then obviously like it was
mm,
quickly debunked after that. But it did go down in a couple of sports books, and they stopped taking bets for it. So I mean, it's pretty rare for a Reddit post to go as viral as it did, to where like any national outlet is talking about it. He was on the Chris Vernon show, the local show here in Memphis, the other day, and even he acknowledged it. And he said that he just woke up one day, didn't hear about it. He doesn't really check. I don't think Jaren's a big Redditor, but he said that
right.
a lot of people texted him and was like, "Man, I got your back. I'm here for you." And he was like, "Oh, that's cool. People got my back." And then he realized, like, oh yeah, there's actually like a huge thing going on with him. So it was a crazy story. I feel like with all that we have to talk about with the deadline coming up, they're really trying to do too much by bringing in this. Like, how do you have that much time to go through every single game like that for just a random player? Like, it blows my mind. We're definitely getting people's attention. I can say that much.
Yeah, man, that's funny. I mean, hey, that's how you know. That's how you know you got players doing big things when you were
Oh
making.
yeah.
The NBA had to like release a statement after all that.
I
Like
really wonder how that guy feels that posted that. Like, there's no way he ever expected it to go this viral. So I'm like, is he just happy even though it made him look pretty stupid? Like, is he just happy it got publicity, or is he like, yeah, maybe I should have thought a little bit more about this before I posted that?
man, here's my conspiracy theory. That guy is probably someone that works for like the Bucks or something that's
Well,
like
I
trying
think I
to
read
prop
that
up
he's a
Rick
Warriors fan.
Lopez. Oh,
Yeah,
he's a
that's
Warriors.
probably
Oh,
true. I think I read
makes
that he's a
that
Warriors fan.
that makes perfect sense. Cause
Yeah.
dude, I follow. It's funny, man. Cause like Warriors Twitter is funny in itself too. Like,
Hmm.
like man, the way that they talk about everybody versus all of their players you would think are all worth 2, 3 first round draft picks according to the Warriors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't fact checked that, but I did hear from a couple of different outlets that the guy was a Warriors fan. So definitely
Yeah.
checks out, makes sense, and just adds to the rivalry, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's time. It's time for you to probably go on some Grizzlies Reddit pages and stir some stuff up, and maybe you can go viral, brother.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go through and I'll be like, Steph Curry. I analyzed all of his threes, and on 50% of them, his foot was on the line, and those should have been twos. And I think Steph Curry is overhyped, and I'm just gonna make a huge compilation of it. It's a whole
Yeah,
conspiracy.
no, yeah. Steph Curry is not the all-time 3-point champ. So,
Yeah, I'll find some way to debunk that.